Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Gabby and this is the Ink Bunny, and we are about to go over the mysteries and thrillers that I plan on reading for the year 2023. Now this list will probably grow and shrink and expand based on my moods, what comes out, things of that nature. Most of these books I already own. A few are library books, but I figured it's the beginning of the year. I want to start doing long form content. What better way to start than to talk about the books that I plan on reading? So let's just jump in because there's like 16 plus, and let's get started. So the first book I'm going to talk about is One of Us is Next by Karen M. McManus. It's part of the One of Us is Lying series. I've actually started already reading this. I started reading it last year. I'm on page 63. There's 372 pages in it, and I'm only on page 63, but I'm excited to read this. It's a new school year. It follows a younger crowd of students, but they all still go to Bayview. And it basically says on the inner cover, "Come on, Bayview, you know you missed this. A ton of copycat gossip apps have popped up since Simon died, but in the years since the Bayview Four were cleared of his shocking death, no one's been able to fill the gossip void quite like he could. The problem is no one has the facts. Until now. This time, it's not an app though, it's a game. Truth or dare. Phoebe's the first target. If you choose not to play, it's a truth, and hers is dark. Then comes Maeve, and she should know better. Always choose the dare. By the time Knox is about to be tagged, things have gotten dangerous. The dares have become deadly, and if Maeve learned anything from Bronwyn last year, it's that you can't count on the police for help or protection. Simon's gone, but someone's determined to keep his legacy at Bayview High alive, and this time there's a new set of rules. Dante Club, a novel by Matthew Pearl. It's a period piece. So it takes place in Boston in 1865, a series of murders, all of them inspired by scenes in Dante's Inferno. Only an elite group of America's first Dante scholars, Henry Wadsworth Longfellow, Oliver Wendell Holmes, James Russell Lowell, and J.T. Fields can solve the mystery. With the police baffled, more lives endangered, and Dante's literary future at stake, the Dante Club must shed its sheltered literary existence and find the killer. 367 pages of it. Ivies by Alexa Dawn. It's got dark academia vibes, so I'm excited for this. The back says they'd kill to get in. Olivia always knew the Ivies were ruthless, not Ivy League universities, the Ivies. 5 senior girls at Claflin Academy who will stop at nothing to get into the college of their dreams. Olivia should know, she's one of them. In this elite clique, ambition reigns and sabotage is part of the game. But when one of the Ivies is found dead hours after getting into Harvard, Olivia begins to question how far her friends are willing to go. And with a murderer on the loose, will Olivia's acceptance letter become her death sentence? This comes in at 113 pages. This is going to be the next pick for our buddy read group, Sarah and Bree, and it's called How We Fall Apart by Katie Zhao, I think, Z-H-A-O. Super excited about this. Again, dark academia vibes. Again, a small, close-knit group of friends who did it. I love that kind of like small suspect pool. It always leaves you guessing for sure, and that's one of my favorite things about it. It says, lesson number 1, Sinclair Prep students, betrayal will haunt you from the grave. Jamie Rowan is the queen bee of Sinclair Prep until one day she's dead. Her former closest friends have no idea what happened to her, or do they? An anonymous poster calling themselves the Proctor points a finger. Jamie has 4 former friends. Each friend has a secret. One day Jamie goes missing. Which friend is guilty and deserves punishment? Akil is Sinclair Prep's track star, but can he outrun his secrets and the one who's out to get him? Then there's Crystal. She has a killer sense of fashion, but that's not the only deadly thing about her. It seems like Alexander is always focused on grades and maybe a certain girl, and he's also hiding a dark secret. Last but not least, there's Nancy. There's nothing threatening about this scholarship student unless you get in the way of her at the top spot. Did one of them kill Jamie? Who is the proctor, and what will they reveal next? Very excited. And this one comes in at 295 pages. By Solari Gentile. And this has actually been on my to-read list for a while. But the back says, in every person's story, there's something to hide. The ornate reading room at the Boston Public Library. This is the second book that takes place in Boston. Interesting. Okay. Is quiet until the tranquility is shattered by a woman's terrified scream. Security guards take charge immediately, instructing everyone inside to stay put until the threat is identified and contained. While they wait for the all-clear, 4 strangers who happen to sit at the same table pass the time in conversation, and friendships are struck. Each has his or her own reason for being in the reading room that morning. It just happens that one is a murderer. So excited. This has 250 pages. The Clue in the Trees by Margie Prius, and it's a Enchantment Lake mystery. It also looks pretty short, so I'm excited about that. This is considered middle grade fiction. And it says, Francie's brother Theo has secrets. But what if one of those secrets is that Theo is a murderer? To avoid considering that possibility, Francie plunges into her senior year at a small town high school near Enchantment Lake. It's a radical change from her private school in New York, but she hopes to keep an eye on her great aunts and maybe finally learn more about the mother she never knew. A small silver box seems to hold the answers, and she's determined to get her hands on it. But when her long-lost brother turns up, so does a dead body. And once again, Francie is drawn into a mystery. A long list of suspects, with Theo at the top, keeps her head spinning. When Francie herself becomes a suspect, she starts to feel like she's walking on thin ice. But it isn't until she's literally walking on thin ice that the pieces start to come together. And by then, it may be too late. It looks like this is the second book in a series. Okay, if ever there was a book pet peeve, it is when books do not label themselves as sequels or continuations of a story. It drives me bonkers. Now I have to sit here and look for an Enchantment Lake mystery so I know what the heck is going on. Well, just add another book to the list, I guess. This book is short, though. It only comes in at 179 pages. And it's 5 Survive by Holly Jackson. So I've read books 1 and 2 of A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, and I have book 3. I just haven't read it yet. I'm probably going to read it with the same book club girls that I read 2 with, but that's neither here nor there. So this one I hear is very similar to another book I read, I think by Jennifer Donnelly, about a group of people who go into a car and there's a snowstorm, they're trying to get home, and strange things begin to happen. I think that's like the gist. I can't remember what the book is called. I'll put it here. But this one says 8 hours, 6 friends, 5 survive. Red Kitty is on a road trip for spring break with 5 friends. Her best friend, her older brother, his perfect girlfriend, a friend from school, and the guy Red wishes was more than a friend. But they won't make it to their destination. When their RV breaks down in the middle of nowhere with no self-service, they soon realize this is no accident. They have been trapped by someone out there in the dark, someone who clearly wants them dead. With 8 hours until dawn, the 6 friends must escape and figure out which of them is the target. But is there a liar among them? Buried secrets will be forced to light, and tensions inside the RV will reach deadly levels. Not all of them will survive the night. So, I'm super excited about that. And this one is thick, coming in 386 pages. Hunts Me by Kelly Davis. It says Good Girls Bite Back. And it says Alex Rush is ready for the trip of a lifetime. She and her friends have made some creepily awesome films together throughout high school, so with only a few months left before they go their separate ways for college, they're determined to make the best one yet, an epic short film about the real inspiration for Dracula, shot on location at a remote castle in Romania. But when they get there, it's not quite the majestic setting they planned for. Menacing weapons line the walls, the twisted halls are easy to get lost in, and with no connection to the outside world, the group is unexpectedly off the grid. After just a few hours spent under its roof, Alex and her friends have no trouble imagining how this dark, terrifying castle inspired one of the most endearing horror novels of all time. Only soon, they no longer have to use their imagination to understand the location's terrifying history. Just as they get the movie's first shot rolling, one of Alex's friends disappears, as she's nearly certain she saw a cloaked stranger lurking in the shadows. As more members of the group begin to meet an untimely demise, Alex is desperate to stop the bloodshed, even if it means facing a monster she never thought would be let loose. This comes in at 310 pages. Lavender House by Lev A.C. Rosen. I just adore this cover, and then like the inside is so pretty. And then it's also purple. Pretty. Okay. When your existence is a crime, everything you do is criminal. Lavender House, 1952. The family seat of recently deceased matriarch Irene Lemontagne, head of the famous Lemontagne soap empire. This estate offers a unique freedom where none of the residents or staff hide who they are, but to keep their secret, they've needed to keep others out. And now they're worried they're keeping a murderer in. His widow hires Evander Mills to uncover the truth behind her mysterious death. LGBTQ rep? Andy, recently fired from the San Francisco police after being caught in a raid on a gay bar, is happy to accept. His calendar is wide open, and his secret is the kind of secret the Lemontagnes understand. Andy had never imagined a world like Lavender House. He's seduced by the safety and freedom found behind its gates, where a queer family lives honestly and openly. But that honesty doesn't extend to everything, and he quickly finds himself a pawn in a family game of old money, subterfuge, and jealousy. Irene's death is only the beginning. The gates of Lavender House can't lock out the real world forever, and running a soap empire can be a dirty business. 269 pages. Library book. It's called Murder for the Modern Girl by Kendall Culper. A ravishing young mind reader stalks the streets at night in Kitten Hills, prowling for men to murder. A soft-spoken genius toils away in the city morgue, desperate to unearth the science behind his gift for shape-shifting. It's a match made in 1928 Chicago, where gangsters run City Hall, jazz fills the air, and every good girl's purse conceals a flask. Until now, 18-year-old Ruby's penchant for poison has been a secret. No one knows that she uses her mind-reading abilities to target men who prey on vulnerable women, men who escape the clutches of Chicago justice. But when she meets a brilliant boy working at the morgue, his knack for forensic detail threatens to uncover her dark hobby. Even more unfortunately, sharp, independent Ruby has fallen in love with him. Gatsby-era glamour, a swoon-worthy love story, and an indomitable heroine dazzle in this romp that captures the extravagance of the roaring 20s and the dangers of vigilante justice. This one comes in at 347 pages. The next book I have is A Dreadful Splendor by B.R. Myers, and the front says, "Be careful what you conjure." And the back says, in Victorian London, Genevieve Timmins poses as a spiritualist to swindle wealthy mourners, until one misstep lands her in a jail cell awaiting the noose. Then a stranger arrives to make her a peculiar offer. The lord he serves, Mr. Pimbleton, has been inconsolable since the tragic death of his beautiful bride-to-be. If Genevieve can perform a seance persuasive enough to bring the young lord to peace, she will earn her freedom. Soothing a grieving nobleman should be easy for someone of Genevieve's skill, but when she arrives at the Grand Somerset Park estate, Mr. Pemberton is not the heartbroken lover she expected. The surly, yet exceedingly handsome, gentleman is certain that his fiancée was murdered, even though there is no evidence. Only a confession can bring justice now, and Mr. Pemberton decides Genevieve will help him get it. With his knowledge of the household and her talent for illusion, they can stage a haunting so convincing it will coax the killer into the light. However, when frightful incidents befall the manor, Genevieve realizes her tricks aren't required after all. She may be a fake, but Somerset's ghost could be all too real. A Dreadful Splendor is a wickedly whimsical brew of mystery, spooky thrills, intoxicating romance that makes for an irresistible, fun, and page-turning read. I'm super excited about this. And that's 402 pages. Terrifiers by Jane Peck. Claudia Lynn is used to disregarding her fractious family's model minority expectations. She has no interest in finding either a conventional career or a nice Chinese boy. She's also used to keeping things from them that she prefers girls. Again with the LGBTQ rep. Yes, I am on it. Okay. And that she has just been recruited by Veracity, an online dating detective agency in New York with its own secrets. That sounds amazing. Long mystery reader who wrote her senior thesis on Jane Austen, Claudia can't imagine a job more fun or to her family less suitable. But when a client goes missing, Claudia starts digging deeper than she's supposed to, right into a maelstrom of intrigue and deceit. Part literary mystery, part immigrant family story, The Verifiers is a witty and incisive examination of how technology shapes her choices and of the nature of romantic love in the digital age. 354 pages. Never Saw Me Coming by Vera Curian. The inside reads, "You should never trust a psychopath, but what if you had no choice?" It would be easy to underestimate Chloe Sevre. She's a freshman honor student, a legging-wearing hot girl next door, who also happens to be a psychopath. She spends her time on yoga lattes, frat parties, and plotting to kill Will Bachman, a childhood friend who grievously wronged her. Chloe is one of 7 students at her DC-based college who are part of an unusual clinical study of psychopaths. Students like herself who lack empathy and can't comprehend emotions like fear or guilt. The study, led by a renowned psychologist, requires them to wear smartwatches that track their movements. When one of the students in the study is found murdered in the psychology building, a dangerous game of cat and mouse begins, and Chloe goes from hunter to prey. As she races to identify the killer and put her own plan for revenge into action, she'll be forced to decide if she can trust any of her fellow psychopaths. And everyone knows you should never trust a psychopath. Never Saw Me Coming is a compulsive, voice-driven thriller by an exciting new talent in fiction that will keep you pinned to the page and rooting for a would-be killer. Book ends at 389 pages. This is Close Up by Amanda Quick, and I'm actually currently reading this. I am on page 37. It reigns in at 293 pages, and the inside reads, "Welcome to Burning Cove, California, where 1930s Hollywood glamour conceals a ruthless killer." Vivian Brazier never thought life as an art photographer would include shooting the headshots for aspiring male actors or nightly wake-up calls to snap photos of grisly crime scenes. Although she is set on making a career of transforming her photography into a new art form, she knows her current work is what's paying the bills. After shooting crime scene photos of a famous actress, the latest victim of the murderer the press has dubbed the Dagger Killer, Vivian noticed eerie similarities to the crime scenes of previous Dagger Killer victims, details that only another photographer would notice, the kind of details that lead Vivian to become a target herself. Nick Sundridge has always been able to see things that others can't, forcing him to cope with disturbing dreams and visions. His talent, along with his dark past, make him a recluse, but also a brilliant investigator. As the only one with the ability to help, Nick is sent to protect Vivian. Together, they discover that the Dagger Killer has ties to the glitz and glamour of Hollywood royalty and high society. It is a cutthroat world of allure and deception that Vivian and Nick must traverse, all in order to uncover the killer, who will stop at nothing to add them to the gallery of victims. next thing on my list is We Made It All Up by Margot Harrison. It comes in at 370 pages, and the inside says, fantasy, reality, there's supposed to be a line. Celeste is the talk of the town when she moves to Montana from Montreal, but the only friend she makes is Vivi, the heir to the town's founder and a social pariah. Inspired by passion-fueled school accident, they begin writing a love story fanfic between the popular guy and the stoner, one that gradually reveals Celeste's past. While her bond with Vivi makes Celeste feel safe and alive again, Vivi keeps prodding Celeste to turn fantasy into reality. When they finally try, one drunken night on a dark mountainside, Celeste is the one who kisses Golden Boy Joss, and Joss ends up dead. Celeste doesn't remember the end of that night and can't be sure she didn't deliver the killing blow. She still be that scared of getting close to a boy? Secrets are hard to keep in a small town, and even Vivi seems to suspect her. Exploring the winding passages of the cave where Joss died, Celeste learns he had his own dark secrets, as does Vivi. The town isn't as innocent as it appears. We're down to the last 3! Alright, next one is They'll Never Catch Us by Jessica Goodman. And if that sounds familiar to you, it's because she wrote They Wish They Were Us and The Counselors. Now, I did not mind They Wish They Were Us. I think I gave that like a 3-star or 4-star. It was enjoyable, but I couldn't really just suspend my sense of disbelief. I couldn't suspend my disbelief that much. Like, the characters just weren't very believable in what they were willing to do for each other. I couldn't see it. But so I'm hoping I don't have trouble with this one. But this one is called They'll Never Catch Us. And the inside reads that the Steckler sisters are only a year apart, but they're as different as sisters can be. Single-minded, driven Stella keeps to herself. Ellie is no less ambitious, but she has fun with friends and a social life too. The only thing the sisters have in common is cross-country running, until Mila King comes to town. Mila was the top runner on her team back home, and at first Stella and Ellie see her as a threat. But soon, Stella finds herself noticing all the things they have in common. Mila is smart and strong, somebody Stella can finally connect with. As the two become friends, Stella becomes something she's vowed she'd never be, distracted. For her part, Ellie finds herself drawn to Mila's warm, charming personality, and in a moment of weakness, Ellie even shares her darkest secret with Mila. With regionals approaching and college scouts taking notice, the pressure is on, and the girls vow they won't let anything get in the way of their futures. But everything changes when Mila goes out for a training run and never returns. No one knows what happened, but all eyes are on the Steckler sisters. And this book comes in at 330 pages. We're down to the last 2. So The Killing Code by Ellie Marnie. That author also wrote None Shall Sleep, which I have upstairs but have not read yet. This book comes in at 369 pages. And inside it says, Rookie Codebreaker Kit is an expert at revealing enemy secrets, as long as no one cracks hers. Virginia, 1943. World War II was raging in Europe and on the Pacific Front when Kit Sutherland is recruited to help the war effort as a codebreaker at Arlington Hall, a former girls' college now serving as the site of a secret U.S. signal intelligence facility. But Kit is soon involved in another kind of fight. Government girls are being brutally murdered in Washington, D.C., and when Kit stumbles upon a bloody homicide scene, she's drawn into the hunt for the killer. To find who is responsible for the gruesome murders and bring them to justice, Kit joins forces with other female codebreakers, gossip queen Dottie Crockford, sharp-tongued intelligence maven Moya Kershaw, and cleverly resourceful Violet Dulac from the segregated code-breaking unit. I guess that's what happens when you go back. I hope they're written well. But as the girls begin to work together and develop friendships and romance, LGBTQ, what's that, like 4 books, 5 books? Hell yeah. The murderer they're hunting is closing in on them, and Kit is hiding a dangerous secret. The Enigma game meets Last Night at the Telegraph Club in award-winning author Ellie Marnie's historical mystery about a girl who risks everything to track down a vicious serial killer. I might move this up on my list. This sounds really good. Okay, so the last book I have, I own it. I bought it from Barnes & Noble. I couldn't believe it was there. I was so excited. Okay, so it's called The Inugami Curse. It is published by Pushkin Vertigo, and it is written by Seishi Yokomizo, who is the author of the original Kindaichi series. Now, Kindaichi, very similar to Sherlock Holmes, is a fictional character for Japan. It's a classic. It's an older written story, and that's why the Kindaichi Files is based on the great-great-grandson to create a more modern piece. But this is a classic Japanese murder mystery. It has been translated into English, so I can enjoy it. I am so very excited. 316 pages, and this follows the legendary detective Kosuke Kindaichi. In 1940s Japan, the wealthy head of the Inugami clan dies, and his family eagerly await the reading of the will. But no sooner are its strange details revealed than a series of bizarre, gruesome murders begin. Detective Kindaichi must unravel the clan's terrible secrets of forbidden liaisons, monstrous cruelty, and hidden identities to find the murderer and lift the curse wreaking its bloody revenge on the Inugamis. It is a fiendish, intricately plotted classic mystery from a giant of Japanese crime writing, starring the legendary detective Kosuke Kindaichi. I'm so excited. But that concludes my list of mysteries that I want to read in the year of 2023. Like I said, it's probably going to grow and shrink as the year goes on based on my mood and what I'm interested in reading. But you guys know I love a good mystery. I'm going to be right here for it, and I can't wait to see you guys next time. Also, I wanted to talk about the new title because I'm sure you guys have noticed that we're not called Unabridged anymore. It's just a really common title, and I wanted to separate myself from other booktubers that might be doing something similar or even the same. So I love reading. I love going down rabbit holes. I love exploring things that capture my interest, and I'm tattooed. So that's where Ink Bunny came from. And yeah, I just hope you stay with me and just come along and enjoy the journey. If you are reading any of the books that I'm reading at the time or anything in the list, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you thought about them, what your reactions were, and what your ratings were, because I love to know what other people are reading. And if any of you guys are interested in doing a buddy read of any of the books that I've listed or any other books that you think might interest me, leave those in the comments down below too, so I can look them over and maybe I can get some more buddy reads in this year. So yeah, I just want to explore more, read more, and just, thrive. I don't want to just survive anymore. I want to thrive. I'm in my feel-good era. Okay. So thanks so much for watching. I'm Gabby. This is the Ink Bunny, and I'll see you next time.